Happy Friday, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mackailyn Johnson. Here's a look at the stories we're following today. New developments in two high-profile stories THV 11 has been following. What we know now in 2 minutes.
The pandemic took a toll on teens mentally and physically. I'm Michelle Medina with how playing sports can help.
And a popular 90s sitcom is returning to a TV near you. The details on that and more in our must-see entertainment news just ahead. But first, meteorologist Nathan Scott is here with us on this fantastic Friday, and that good weather is just going to continue. What can you tell us?
Happy Friday, Mackailyn. We're seeing lots of sun, some high clouds making their way through, but the temperatures are a little bit cooler than what we saw this time yesterday. We've got a front making its way through the state right now. Look at the temperature difference. It's 67 in Harrison, 69 in Mountain Home, but 83 in Arkadelphia. It's 80 here in the capital city. And compare this to 24 hours ago. Yes, there is some slightly cooler air filtering its way in here from the north, all thanks to the winds from the north-northeast, about 5 to 10 miles per hour, which will enhance the fire danger risk. In case you didn't know, pretty much all of the state is under a burn ban, with the exception of 5 counties. Not sure why they're holding out, but I expect those counties most likely will be under a burn ban once we get into late this afternoon. Highs today will be cooler than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday's high at the capital city, it was 90. I'm forecasting a number of 84, only in the 70s in Harrison and Mountain Home. And that type of cooler weather is headed for all of Arkansas for the first half of the weekend. I'll have more on that cooler forecast, and if there's any chance of rain in my extended forecast coming up.
Thanks, Nathan. And developing this afternoon, an armed woman peacefully surrendered overnight after barricading herself in a home for several hours. It happened on West 13th Street in North Little Rock. That's where officers were told a person threatened someone with a gun before barricading themselves inside a home last night. At this time, it doesn't appear anyone was hurt. We're looking to learn more details on the woman arrested. This afternoon, the Little Rock police are saying the 7th Street mural project has been vandalized. Authorities say that they have identified the person who is responsible for vandalizing the mural. Police have not filed any charges at this time. However, they are still investigating the case. We'll continue to keep you updated as we get more information. New today, the Cabot School Board is cleared of alleged wrongdoing in a lawsuit. A resident tried to sue the school district earlier this year, claiming wrongdoing by the board when extending the superintendent's employment contract. The district just posted a letter on its website from the Lonoke County prosecutor. It said no charges will be filed because no crimes were committed. The letter says the man who tried to sue Cabot could himself face charges for filing frivolous lawsuits. Concerns over school safety have one local district planning to increase security for a football rivalry game. Fordyce schools and the Dallas County Sheriff's Office say they've received disturbing tips concerning a threat of violence. They say it mentioned the game next Friday between Fordyce and Risen. This is video of last year's matchup. In a letter, Fordyce Superintendent Judy Hubble says they will have metal detectors at the stadium gates and a clear bag policy. They also plan to have extra state troopers and local law enforcement patrolling. In a THV 11 news update, the Glenwood man who pleaded guilty to dozens of child rape and other sexual crimes over 25 years will never be getting out of prison. Barry Allen Walker pleaded guilty to additional crimes in Clark County on Thursday. He received the maximum sentence for each victim, 21 life sentences. That's in addition to the 18 life sentences he received in Pike County on Wednesday. Walker was also sentenced to nearly 1,200 additional years of consecutive sentences. The charges stemmed from multiple sexual assaults involving 31 children from 1997 to the present. Walker was arrested back in June. We're now getting a better understanding of what happened the day a 17-year-old was kidnapped from a Central Avenue parking lot in Hot Springs. THV 11's Rolly Hoyt has been following the story since it happened and has the update.
Court documents reveal 20-year-old De La Ferrer admits to agreeing to kidnap the girl to get money from the girl's family. Ferrer pleaded guilty to 1 count of aiding and abetting kidnapping in federal court Wednesday. According to the documents, Ferrer says she voluntarily helped Samuel Bowling in the kidnapping by pretending to need directions. Documents show once the victim agreed to help them with directions, the suspects attacked the teen once she was inside their car. Ferrer then says Bowling called a relative of the teen and demanded $10,000 or the girl would be, quote, sold to human sex traffickers or cut up into little pieces and disposed of in a lake. Ferrer says she and Bowling held the teen overnight until the next day, when she was able to walk to a nearby liquor store and was rescued by police. The documents also say, quote, Ferrer freely admitted, among other things, her voluntary participation in the kidnapping for the purpose of monetary gain.
That was THV 11's Rolly Hoyt reporting. For now, court documents indicate Bowling is set to go on trial on November 29th. Ferrer faces a minimum of 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Sentencing will come in a few weeks. Now, also in Hot Springs, a 16-year-old is dead after a shooting that involved at least 3 victims with at least 2 different crime scenes. This afternoon, we know a teenager was found shot on School Street, just a few blocks off Central Avenue near downtown. He was taken to a local hospital but later died. An 18-year-old man also showed up at the hospital with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. First responders also treated a 17-year-old girl who was shot at the second scene at Central and Grand Avenue. Now we're working to learn an update on how the victims are doing. In Bryant, a man is recovering this afternoon after being shot outside his home. It happened yesterday on Bridgeport Lane. The victim, a 28-year-old man, was playing basketball in his driveway when a black sports car drove up. Police say the driver got out and began firing a rifle, shooting the victim in the leg. Bryant police are still looking for the shooter. Sources tell THV 11 that the FBI and IRS believe that after years of investigating Hunter Biden, they have enough evidence to charge the president's son with tax and gun purchase related crimes, but none connected with his business dealings overseas. Skylar Henry has the latest from Washington, D.C.
Multiple sources tell CBS News the FBI has believed for months they've gathered enough evidence to prosecute the president's son with tax crimes and making false statements on a gun purchase. The sources said the FBI sent its findings earlier this year to U.S. Attorney David Weiss in Delaware. Weiss was appointed by President Trump and is yet to bring charges.
He's got to make that final call under the principles of federal prosecution, not the initial call that the FBI has made in gathering evidence.
A lawyer for Hunter Biden called the apparent leak inherently biased, one-sided, and inaccurate, adding their team believes prosecutors should not be pressured, rushed, or criticized for doing their job. The federal investigation into Hunter Biden's business practices has been going on for years. It began long before Joe Biden became president. Mr. Biden has consistently denied any knowledge of his son's work.
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business.
The federal criminal probe explored whether the younger Biden, his Uncle James, and other business associates violated tax, money laundering, and foreign lobbying laws. Earlier this year, the probe narrowed, focusing on delinquent tax payment, including income Hunter Biden earned as a board member for a Ukrainian energy company. A source close to the president's son said he repaid more than $1 million in past due taxes. GOP leaders say they will investigate the Biden family business if they take control of key congressional committees in January. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Hunter Biden's lawyer is calling for an investigation into how the information apparently leaked from within the FBI. Now, in more of today's top headlines, a member of the Proud Boys extremist group has pleaded guilty to seditious conspiracy charges in connection to the Capitol riot. 43-year-old Jeremy Bertino, who was not in D.C. on January 6th, admitted to plotting with other members to stop the transfer of power. He faces up to 63 months in prison. This afternoon, a man is in jail accused of stabbing 8 people, 2 fatally, along the Las Vegas Strip. According to investigators, security footage shows the suspect fleeing the scene before he was apprehended with help from a casino security team. Witnesses say at least one showgirl who takes pictures with tourists is among the victims. A 430-foot-tall Orlando amusement park ride called Freefall Tower is being taken down after a 14-year-old boy fell to his death back in March of this year. The ride opened only months before the boy's death. A judge is delaying the upcoming trial between Twitter and Elon Musk. This gives the Tesla CEO time to close his $44 billion deal to buy the company. Musk has until October 28th. The trial was set for October 17th, but has been moved to November. Musk renewed his offer Monday, asking to halt the trial to get the financing in order. LitFest is not happening as planned this weekend, but we have some ideas on things you can do instead. Ashley Godwin has more on what some Little Rock businesses are doing after LitFest cancellation coming up. But first, Nathan, what do you have for us?
Mackailyn, cooler fall-like air will return to central Arkansas going into the weekend, but we need rain. And looking at the extended forecast, there is a chance. I'll let you know when that chance is coming up.